Oh, chimpanzee, that has only gone and written it down.
The jingle there to announce yet another reading from Karl Pilkington's diary. When are you going to write until, Karl? What have you got? You're going to do?
I've got to do
as far as December, and then that's it.
I don't know. When does the diary end?
31st December usually.
Yeah.
Do it the whole way there?
Typical, always the same.
Yeah, that's when I'll do it till, and then.
Why do that? Why be conformist? Why end on December? Why not end on January the 31st? Weird that you should go. Don't be constrained to what the diary says.
Me mam called me to ask me to like. Fuck me, you're right. Look, that should be. Me mam called me to ask me to look in some of the magazine shops in London for a magazine that she can't find. It's called UFO Data. I said, I ain't heard of it. She said she's seen an advert for it in one of her ghost magazines.
I love the fact that she can't even find the magazine about unidentified flying objects.
Yeah. So we get a clue.
She thinks, I think I saw something, but I don't know whether it was a magazine or not.
So we get a clue there as to why you give any credence to this crap.
Yeah, well, it's I mean,
Mama Pilkington's into the same shit.
There's a lot of space out there, isn't there?
She said that this magazine has got news story about how Aldrin (brackets astronaut) has got some evidence that aliens exist.
Yeah.
I told her that I found out today that the days are about 36 minutes longer on Mars. We chatted about how this is how they are more advanced than us. Do you mean the Martians?
Yeah, if they've got a longer day, that's more time that they're awake working on stuff.
Right, yeah, we know that makes no difference at all.
No, it does.
Think about it. Think about it.
Look, think about it. 6 o'clock here.
Yeah.
People are going, see you tomorrow. I'm going home. They'll be going, oh, another half hour. They've got a longer day. Productive.
And that's why they're able to fly.
That's why they're whizzing around. It adds up, doesn't it, over the years?
Christ almighty, what drivel!
Suzanne got in from work at 11:30. I told her about the UFOs in Mars. She said she's too tired to chat. I said, does it mean aliens will be more tired than us, or do they get more sleep? I got no answer. I love it when Suzanne goes in. She never indulges
no,
in
it scares her. Anything with ghosts and UFOs, she sort of...
It doesn't scare her, it bores her.
No, it freaks her out. Scares her.
Okay. I'm knackered today, and the face feels dry and spotty. Oh God, what's wrong with
It starts off moaning. The first thing he does is start moaning. He wakes up and goes, oh, fuck me, I didn't die. Oh, God.
I'm knackered today and the face feels dry and spotty. I think it's the change in water since being away. Or it could be all the... it could be all the Madeira cake I had yesterday.
I'm gonna burst.
What's the Madeira cake? The Madeira cake dries you out, does it?
Well, it's just quite fattening, innit? But I like it. It's one of my little pleasures.
Oh, God
Suzanne I went for a wander about to try and find the UFO Data magazine from my mum. I didn't know which category to look under. There were too many magazines. I noticed how on the rude magazines, the women are being pretty rude on the cover, but on the gay magazines, it's just a fella smiling, showing a bit of arse. I don't know why gay blokes would buy it. Blokes have got their own knob to look at if they like knobs. Why were you looking at the gay magazine?
No, I wasn't. It's just that.
Oh, you were?
No, I
You
noticed
studied them.
Yeah, because I was looking for UFO data. I don't know where they put it.
I don't think you find evidence of other worlds down men's pants. Yeah, I don't think you want to boldly go where no man has ever gone before, Carl.
I had no luck trying to find the UFO Data magazine. I will try some other shops. He writes UFO Data magazine every time. He can just put UFO mag, but
no, but it reminds me.
You want to be specific.
If I write stuff down, it means that I remember it more.
Sure.
So, still looking for it.
Got some posts from Oxfam. They're flogging animals for Africa again. They've got new animals in their catalogue now. They've got donkeys and alpacas. Donkeys 50 quid, alpacas £20. I don't know if this is a special rate, or if I could get one from a mam. She's been saying how they've been missing having a pet since they had the cat put down.
Sorry, you don't get it. If you buy that for someone, you don't get it.
Yeah, but they're not bothered where they're going.
Yes, they do. Of course they don't. They don't deliver them. It's not like they're in a warehouse wondering, thinking, I hope people buy this. They're going to put them out there. They're.
But at the end of the day, 50 quid's 50 quid, and they're not bothered. If they're
Right.
sending an alpaca to Africa,
Yeah.
and I'm saying, can you get one to London? To them, that is less hassle.
Right, Carl, that's not how it works. You can't just go and say, oh, I'll have one of them.
They're not bothered. It's for charity.
Carl, of course they are. You can't buy an alpaca for 20 quid. Christ almighty. Plus postage and packaging, they're big bastards.
Read about a pub that is getting some stick because they've stopped a horse going in. It's been the horse's regular for ages, but there's been some new owners who've taken over the pub, and they said they're serving fresh food and don't want a horse in there anymore.
Oh, God. We've got to publish this diary.
There's some dynamite stuff in
We've
here.
got to publish the diary. I mean, this is never mind, peeps. Can't we put this out next year or something with a special CD? It's amazing. You can't keep this from the world, Carl.
I met Suzanne after she finished work, and we went for a brew in another cafe.
God, Jesus.
It's always having a brew in a cafe.
It's like a sitcom.
It is. Suzanne said I look tired and fed up. I think it's because I ain't been sleeping.
Or the Madeira cake, we don't know. Always been going to every news agency in London, looking at game magazines.
She taught me some way to breathe that will relax me. I wasn't feeling that relaxed though, because the person behind the counter was banging about making a coffee. Noise stresses me out. I wonder if less deaf people die of stress than people with working ears do.
Oh, it's the theories. It's the theories.
It is such a noisy world, though, isn't it?
It is. London is noisy, very noisy.
I think just everywhere, just noise in general. They were
Yeah.
saying how, like, every noise has been used at least 5 times or something.
What do you mean?
Because there's only so many noises in the world.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, there's only so many
What
noises.
do you mean every noise has been used 5 times? I don't know what that means. I don't know what it means.
Because
I don't know. I've no idea. Every noise once has been used at least 5 times.
there's only so many noises. It's like a piano, isn't there? There's only so many notes.
Yeah.
And there's only so many noises.
Right.
But because there's so much stuff, the same noises are being used again.
I don't know what that means.
By whom? Who's reusing the noise?
By whatever.
So a
you'll have-
woodpecker when it's woodpecking?
Yeah. Some birds make noises that would sound like a Ford Escort, just because there's only so many noises that people can use.
What is he talking about?
Noises are a byproduct. Outside an instrument,
Yeah.
noises are a byproduct. They don't, a machine, they don't go, what should we make this noise, make this machine? It makes the noise it makes when it's doing
But
something.
why does it make that noise? Why not pick another noise?
They don't pick the
Well, who's
noise.
picking
I know.
the noise?
A
That's
printing press makes the noise because it's the sound of the thing
Yeah.
going down.
Yeah,
You
so
know,
the printing-
a hammer makes that noise because that's what it does. No one's going, oh, can we make this make a different noise? No, it's a byproduct.
I know. So there's only so many noises.
I don't know what you mean.
You said the byproduct is because of something that's happening, right?
But it's
Yeah.
the physical action, isn't it? And the way that impacts on the surrounding air. That's what how noises are manufactured. It's not a choice.
When Stevenson's rocket came and I went, they went, can you make it go? It's that's the noise it made.
I know, but then, say like a new frog comes out,
Oh, what do you mean a new frog comes out?
they find a new type of frog,
Right.
it makes a noise, and
Yeah.
they'll go, yeah, I knew it was going to sound like that.
What are you talking
Because
about?
there's only so many noises. No animal comes out and makes like a weird noise, and you go, I've never heard that noise before. They go, oh, that sounds like a chicken, or it sounds like a Ford Escort, or there's only so many
What frog
noises.
sounds like a Ford Escort?
No, but
there
there'll be
can't be
some
many
animal.
because you've used Ford Escort twice as an analogy here. So you're running out of noises. You've come up with chicken and Escort so far.
I can't
But the
explain
problem
it.
is, a Ford Escort sounds a bit like an Austin Allegro. So
I
don't
know, yeah, and a chicken. You're ripping off the turkey, you cunt. Oh, chimpanzee, that is competition time.
I think my worry there is people might get confused with it because that jingle's very
Yeah.
similar to the Monkey News jingle.
There's aspects of it that's similar, yeah.
Yeah, some people might have just heard that, and they might have just heard chimpanzee and thought, "Oh, great, it's Monkey News." But Carl presumably is too lazy to have actually prepared any Monkey News.
Oh, I've got some good news about Monkey News, actually.
Have you?
If you are craving Monkey News, then there is a special Monkey News poster in the CD, the 3 CD box set, the Ricky Gervais show. Got everything. It's got the the 12 shows, and MP3. It's got the best of, and it's got an extra hour of brand new material as well. And the reason we did it on CD is because some people were saying, I've heard about this, but I can't listen to it. I haven't got an iPod. I haven't got a computer. So buy that for a friend who can't listen to these.
It's the perfect Thanksgiving gift.
It is a perfect Thanksgiving gift, or Pancake Tuesday.
Yeah.
And we've signed one that's going to a lucky winner. We did a competition on the last podcast to give away one of the CD box sets, the World of Karl Pilkington, and we've signed that, and Flannels of the Deep, the new book in the series.
Can you remind us, Rick, of the quiz question?
The quiz question was, do you want these?
Okay, and what was the correct answer?
It was yes.
Well, we've had, it's amazing actually how many people didn't realise that was, we had a lot of people saying no, I'm not interested, who are you, why are you bothering me? But, amazingly, Rachel Bolland from, Glasgow has got the correct answer. She said yes. Now then, we need a new question, Rick.
Yeah, should we give those away again?
Let's give those away again, the same things again, not obviously these, we'll send these to Rachel.
Different ones. You get, so you get, do you want a signed CD, The World of Karl Pilkington and Flannels of the Deep, okay?
Plus, we can also add to that, Rick, the forthcoming extras script book.
Ah, not just a script book, Steve.
No.
It's got some wonderful pictures, but that taken by Rich Hardcastle, of people like Ben Stiller and Sam Jackson and Kate Winslet behind the scenes.
In their off-duty moments.
And it's brilliant. It's really good. We'll put some pictures up on the website. Go to rickygervais.com and you'll see what you could we'd be winning.
Yeah.
Yeah?
So we've got that perfect collection of stuff, but we need a new quiz question.
Okay. Okay, so those prizes, does someone else want them?
Does someone else want them?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. Well, if you know the answer to that, then get in touch. podcast@rickygervais.com. Good luck, it's a tricky one.
Oh, good luck anyway, because I never read the emails. Well, that's the end of the second in this series of 3 special podcasts. That was the end of the Thanksgiving edition. With me, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant.
See ya.
And Karl Pilkington.
Right.
Thank you to Positive Internet, the guys that host this podcast. They're doing a great job.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving. Hello, and welcome to our Christmas podcast. With me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Hello.
And Karl Pilkington.
Right.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
A lot of people are wondering, Rick, if having done so many podcasts this year, because we very much started the whole podcast revolution ourselves single-handedly roughly this time last year.
Yeah, that's right.
Have we perhaps exhausted the podcast phenomenon? Is it time to pack up the equipment and move on to something new?
Well, this will be the last one for a little while, I think. I think, you know, we did, I think 24, and then these specials this year. I think we started it about this time last year.
Well, I don't know about you, Rick, but I'm bored of the whole podcasting thing, and I know that you probably feel the same way.
Well, let's stop for a while. We may get back together again, but it won't be for a while. It's you know, we had a year. It was the year of the podcast.
Been a weird year, hasn't it?
Go on.
No, I'm just saying, you know, when you look at it like that, when you think about all the podcasts that we've done
Yeah.
over a year,
Yeah.
just a lot of stuff has gone on.
Looking back at the year, a year in which we've seen, you know, increasing violence in Iraq. We've seen the advent of more fears over global warming. We've seen George W. Bush take a massive battering in the midterm elections. We've seen many major world events this year. Karl, what stuck out for you?
What event if you think, oh my God, if you were doing your own review of the year, what would you put on the front cover?
The grub that was eating biscuits on the windowsill.
Right. That's just a little bit more up there for you than the capturing of Saddam Hussein and his sentencing to death.
Just because, you know, it's, I never thought I'd see that this year.
So what exactly?
What, the capture of Saddam or the grub?
No, the grub.
The grub.
It was just, I was there on the computer.
Yeah.
I was having a cup of tea and a biscuit. I put the biscuit on the windowsill. I sort of picked it up.
Why would you do that?
Why?
Why would you put a biscuit on a windowsill?
Because I'm sat next to the windowsill.
It's like something from a cartoon. I put the pie on the windowsill to cool down.
Yeah.
No,
And some ruffians stole it.
Yeah.
So I was eating that and I was enjoying it. Put the rest of it back down for like the next half of the cup of tea, and I saw
Planned out. This is. I bet. Well, we read about this later in the diary.
So and then I saw just like a little crumb moving. I was like, what's going on there?
Yeah.
So I looked down closer and there's an insect that is see-through, but with legs, and just sort of running off with a crumb into like a little hole. And then when I looked, I noticed there was loads of these little see-through things, and they were obviously all like, "Oh, I got biscuit," and
That's exactly what they were saying.
We got
biscuits over here.
but I can't, what was it, like I say, it was amazing because they're miles away from what I'm about, and yet
Not that far.
but they still like a bit of biscuit, and it was just weird that happened. I never thought that would happen in 2006. And
You never thought that would happen in 2006.
that's what's nice, isn't it?
blown
That's
his
what's
mind.
nice about the the nature of the world. You know, we can invent iPods, we can bring out better vacuum cleaners, but at the end of the day, you can't make nature up. And to see this see-through thing,
You do.
eating a biscuit,
blow your
that's
mind?
where I've sort of gone this year. I'd say out of anything, I've sort of gone out of my way to learn more stuff about weird stuff that's
But I
out
don't
there.
know what you've learned. You've learned that
A creature which you can't even identify or
you
name.
don't know, right? You don't know what it is, right? Looked like it nicked a bit of crumb. I don't know what knowledge is that. What is that? How is that useful?
Just because everything is changing.
But it's not useful. It's not useful to you, and it's not useful to anyone. You can't pass on that as knowledge because we don't know what it was,
But Carl
or where
thinks,
it happened, or
but-
why it happened.
But Rick, Carl thinks that the grub has an inkling, has a taste for McVitie's in the same way that Carl does. That's why
Yeah.
he's from Meggs. He's thinking, I can't believe it. We both love hobnobs.
As opposed to just being
extraordinary.
taking the
He would have
starch
eaten
from the
anything,
flour.
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that these things have been around for years,
Yes.
maybe longer than us,
Yes.
right? Now, their life isn't changing in the way that ours have. They still live in a little crack in the wall,
Yeah.
but they're eating biscuit, and that was never meant to happen. So it's changing it. What
But
I mean is, you might start getting fat insects. That should never have happened. You don't normally see a fat beetle. You go, oh, look at that, that's a bit fat. Put a bit of weight on. And now that's going to happen because they're eating sugary stuff. The squirrels in the park, because people are feeding them Mars bars and everything, they're getting fatter, they're getting bigger, they're getting more violent. Now, over time, you know, they're going to cause more trouble than they
What
are now.
evidence have you got
What
that
do
they
you
get more
think?
violent?
Just
what-
because when I'm sat in the park and what have you, they really like cocky. They come up to you now and sort of jump up on the bench and sort of attack you for food. They're not happy with acorns now. They want a bit of croissant. And that's what I'm saying. They've changed. They're changing over time. Just like that grub having a biscuit. Everything's trying different food out.
He'll want a gatto soon.
Well, in the same way that, you know,
Eclair.
you look at people around the world, how they're eating weirder stuff. They're running out of, you know, ideas on how to cook food differently. And we're eating weird stuff. So our insects, everything's moving on. Everything's getting more intelligent. The goldfish memories got better. Chickens are more intelligent than people thought they were, apparently. Everything's... Time makes you more intelligent.
Well,
No, they do. That's a fact, isn't it? If you're knocking around longer, then you're learning more because more stuff's going on, and you soak it up. And that's what these insects are doing. They're all learning. You know what I mean?
No.
I saw a cockroach playing Pac-Man. It was on the internet, right? And somebody had linked up a cockroach to some. I can't even be bothered explaining it, but that's what I'm saying. Everything's moving on.
yeah, but Pac-Man's like such an old hat game, man. It's like from the 1980s.
Yeah, that
isn't it?
cockroach is
Jeez,
so-
come on,
oh,
he's still out of
God.
date.
Get a
with
life,
it.
man.
Hello, PlayStation 3. Is he
Hello.
got rid of it? Hello.
Yesterday's cockroach.
Oh.
Fucking hell.
What was he listening to? MC Hammer?
Christ almighty. Fucking hell, Pac-Man. Get a life.
High five, man. I was in the supermarket recently, just walking past the condoms on the way to the pornography, and I thought, you know, it's worth perhaps, you know, getting a stocking, you know.
Get a stocking?
No, getting some condoms.
What, to put over your head? You're not still doing that, are you?
No, I thought it was worth getting some condoms in, you know, it's Christmas party season, and you never know when you're going to run out of balloons. and I was weird, because the condoms in the supermarket are contained in a kind of cage, in a plastic cage, so it makes it all the more embarrassing buying them. because I took them off the thing, and I was trying to open it. Sort of, because I thought that they would, you had to open it.
Try it on. Try it on.
Exactly.
Okay, this, in case it doesn't fit. Bring it back.
Yeah.
Bring it back, yeah.
And I was
Do you do alterations? Yeah, we do, yes. £5.
And, so I'm trying to open this thing, and this guy who works there, sort of in his middle-aged guy who works there, goes, you have to take that to the, checkout. So you can't open that yourself. And I was just, cause I don't know, I still find it very embarrassing, dealing in any of that sort of, prophylactics and things. The novelty of that is still very embarrassing to me. And, so I just left it. I thought, forget it, I'm not gonna take these to the counter. Cause you never, it's like if you get served by a woman, it's still a bit embarrassing. Particularly if that's all you're buying. Because she knows what you're up to. You're going to fill them up with war and throw them at students. And anyway, the reason I mention this is because it reminded me of the conversation we've all enjoyed in the past, Rick, about when Carl bought for his girlfriend for Christmas. Was it a
2-pack?
A 2-pack of
what was it?
Condoms?
Wasn't it about buy one get one free?
Yeah.
It was a bumper family pack, wasn't it? Not a family, obviously. That'd be weird.
Yeah, a family pack of condoms. One for the kids. Enjoy yourselves. So that was a couple of years ago, Carl. The famous condom gate. Have you bucked your ideas up since then?
Not really. They were the early days.
Do you mean the early days? You'd been going out with her for about 8 years, hadn't you?
Yeah, but I just think that as time goes on, you don't sort of buy each other as many presents.
Sorry, that was a bumper year, was it? That was a hell of a. She went. Oh, I remember when you used to buy me stuff like condoms. It's gone downhill since then.
Well, no, she didn't know she was getting them. What I mean is, there's less.
Of course,
surprises.
she didn't.
That's what I mean, though. It was sort of interesting to when I gave them her and said, "There you go, open them." She was not expecting that. And as time goes on...
No, she was probably expecting a piece of jewellery or a holiday in Paris.
It's more difficult, is what I mean, to surprise someone, innit, over time.
No. But the surprise thing is meant to always be a good surprise.
Yeah, but don't... If you always get something good... It's like the 3 wise men. What did they get the second year for little baby Jesus? Do you know what I mean? Once he's had that gold, it's like... I've sort of made it hard work for myself there. I've got to get him something better than that now. So it's best to give him the myrrh.
And next year, get him the gold.
Step it up a bit or whatever.
But don't you understand... Because I don't want to criticise you because you're a lovely man, but having read the diary and read much of this diary, one of the things I notice is the complete lack of romanticism. The number of times Susanna says, book us a lovely meal out, take me out tonight, and you always write like it's a massive chore, like it's a headache for you. Oh no, I've got to spend a romantic night out with my girlfriend.
Because it's the same reason I don't like Christmas and stuff, is the expectations. I prefer it. If I want to take Suzanne out, I prefer to meet her at the bus stop, and she comes back from work and go, you want to go out?
But you don't do that.
No, I do now and again, but it's that thing of, oh, we'll go out tonight, I want to leave it to you, book a place, It builds it up too much, and it can never live up to it. It's like how, you know how, like, people make a big thing out of, having it away for the first time, and they go, oh, I'm going to do that tonight. Not the way to do anything. You won't get anything done by planning.
That's a quote! That's an amazing quote! That'll be up there with Newton and Churchill. You don't get anything done by planning.
No, but
that's amazing.
But you can't just spring it on someone. You have to at least ask her, you up for it tonight?
Just see how it goes. That's what I'm saying about Christmas. I might not be in the mood for it on December 25th. For Christmas, having turkey and everything. That's what I mean. About, in the last podcast, stuff coming round every year. Don't plan it. If you fancy a Christmas, have it. If you don't, just carry on. It'd be nice to live in a world like that. They say, it's a world of freedom or something. No, it isn't.
No, I don't know what that means.
I don't know who says
that. You just make up things they say.
They say, like, today's world is a free world or something. Someone said something along them lines when it isn't. Everyone's still being told what to do, when to do it. Christmas is a big thing, isn't it, that we all have to go through. And it's stressful. It's not a happy time.
You're such a miserable sod. You really are.
No, but Christmas is it's a big upheaval. It is out of all of those special days that go on, Christmas is the one
But
that's...
what are you doing with your time? It's the question we return to again and again.
No, but
we read it.
why-
You're visiting your parents. You're hiring a car. You're going down the calf. It's not like you're taking your work away. You're doing some important neuroscience work, and we've had to take you away from that for 3 days.
No, but what
You're not doing anything of any value, Carl.
But what I might want to do, but I can't because the shops are shut because they want to go off and celebrate Christmas. You know, it's an upheaval. Easter's all right. It comes and goes. Do you want an egg? Not really. Don't have one then. You're not forced an egg.
You're not forced an egg.
I like Easter, and everyone can afford an egg. There's no one being left out. Whereas Christmas, everyone goes back to the family and they have a big meal and all that. And there's a lot of poor people out there who can't do that. So it's more of a, if you're going to talk about religion and the religious sort of occasions, Easter's one that I'd keep. If you plan everything, you probably won't do it in the end. Whereas
again, that as a soundbite is gobbledygook, isn't it?
No, what I mean is, say like holidays, when you know they're coming, you never enjoy them as much as one when it's surprised on you.
Who surprises someone with a holiday unless you win it on a game show?
How can you really go, bloody hell, I'm on holiday?
Suzanne did it with me. She sorted it all out and booked me time off work without me knowing.
Oh, that's a lovely romantic gift.
Yeah,
nice.
and I went along with it and we had a great little holiday.
Yeah, so maybe you should do something like that for her.
No, she wouldn't like it as much, and I won't pick the right place, and I know she won't like it.
You are one of these people that washes up badly so you'll never be asked again, aren't you?
No, that's my job. That's the only job I do.
Yeah, well, it was a...
but to be honest, that's doing me head in at the moment, because I've outgrown the sink.
He talks about himself like a crab. Oh, God. Gotta get a new sink for Carl. Why? He's outgrown it.
No, just
he's 33 now and his knees around his head. Oh, he can't bath in that anymore.
No, just my back's been playing up a bit, and I think it's because of the height of the sink.
But hold on, you haven't grown.
I think I have.
Well, you haven't. No, you haven't grown at 33.
Well, it's definitely something. It's just not very good.
Subsidence?
I don't know. I've just said to Suzanne, I said, this isn't as good as it used to be. It's not.
This isn't as good as it used to be. This washing up. Oh. He says he's got nothing in the flat. That's why he has to do a shop every day, because he's got nothing in the flat.
It's easier that way, isn't it? You don't know what you're going to want to eat.
But that's why you get a... But you don't have a different meal every day of the year, do you? You rotate maybe a dozen meals, don't you? So you can get in enough ingredients that any time you go to the fridge and go, oh, am I going to have chicken? Or am I going to have fish today? Or maybe I'll have some pasta. I do that every day. No, but I always come down to one of half a dozen meals.
You've got a freezer. We haven't got a freezer, have we? We've only got a little fridge.
Oh,
There's nothing wrong with nipping to the supermarket. There's nothing wrong with that.
So you've got too much time on your hands, boy. You'd had one thing. You had to do one thing this year. Promote the book.
Couldn't be bothered.
Couldn't be bothered, mate. Could not be bothered.
I haven't seen Carl an interview with him. I haven't seen him on the TV.
Oh, he was on the TV a while back on the thing called The Culture Show, on BBC Two. And I'll tell you what, he was sat there, looked like a little frightened frog in a chair being interviewed. And I'll tell you what, I'm not being funny, but his head looked fucking round.
Did it look fucking round?
Yeah. He looked like a little fucking round-headed twat.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
And that's my personal opinion.
Darth Sailor, poor, misguided fool. Well, it's time. Well,
go on.
That time, isn't it?
Yeah. Play the jingle.
Yeah. White Van Man, Carl.
Brilliant. Recorded at great expense, that jingle.
Yeah,
this is where we just hijack an idea from The Sun, which is White Van Man, where The Sun asks, in this instance, a cabbie by the look of it. Oh no, a fruit and veg shop owner.
Ours is slightly different because The Sun sort of like pick on a perfectly normal member of the public.
Exactly.
So that's where we've got the
upper hand.
Yeah.
And they ask him about the the hot potatoes. This week, Carl, my first question to you, well, your thoughts, please, on the criticism of the BBC over their coverage of the Queen Mum's death. What do you make of this? You're aware of all the criticism that Peter Sissons asked some probing questions?
No, I thought it
wore a burgundy tie.
I thought that's it. Yeah, he just had it didn't show respect. He just had a burgundy tie on.
See, that's not really not showing respect, is it?
No, it's not.
You know, you show your respect by sort of doing the news on it, giving her a bit of coverage, and showing, you know, what a good woman she was or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you move on to sport news or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I totally agree.
I don't like the way everything's morbid. I was thinking about it. It's like, you know, the way in birthday cards and that, people always put funny things in them. I think you should save things like that for funerals, for like funeral cards and that, and try and cheer people up at times when they're low. Do you know what I mean? Because on your birthday you're quite happy anyway, so you don't need someone putting a funny comment in a card. I think, you know, when you send
what would you suggest?
Well, you know,
whoopee cushion, but on the vicar's chair. How would you liven up the funeral?
Just little things in the card. I mean, just writing stuff like, well, you know, at least you're still alive or whatever.
So as you're giving the eulogy,
that'd be good. So suppose someone's husband's killed in a car crash, you go around with some flowers and a little card, and it says, "At least you're still alive."
Well, maybe something funnier than that.
Well, maybe, like, if you got up to give the eulogy during a funeral, just wear a pair of comedy tits.
Yeah, or those glasses that are eyes on sort of springs.
But why has everyone got to be so sad about someone dying?
No, what annoys me is that when you see the people on television, these sort of members of the public, and they're crying about the Queen Mother, who was sad when anyone dies, sad when anyone nan dies. She was 102, and I mean, it's sort of like, I think they should cry.
Well, there's a picture in the paper today.
I don't understand it.
There's a picture in the paper today of various people who were lining the the funeral kind of route yesterday, and there's a picture of a very young child, maybe sort of 5 or 6, on the arms of her dad, and her head bowed, and it says a young girl there weeps for the Queen Mother. And I was looking at it, and you can tell she's just tired.
Well,
she's just tired and bored. It's so transparent that it's not crying. It's
most
just, what are we
cry
doing
when their nan dies?
Exactly.
You know, it's sort of like.
But what is a 5-year-old girl gonna be? Why is she gonna be crying? The Queen Mum said, "Oh, I can't believe it."
Yeah.
Teletubbies? No, the Queen Mum. Oh, not the Tweenies. No, it's on in a minute.
Yeah.
It's like,
oh dear.
I mean, I know. I'm sure, you know, I don't know much about her. I don't know if she was a great woman, and obviously, you know, it's always sad when someone dies. But it's like, it's interesting that there was a lot of tourists in that long line of people that are now queuing for hours upon hours to see her dying in state, because it's clearly just people who want to be a part of history.
Must be gutting if you're over from Sweden and you find out that, you know, the Queen Mum's died.
Oh, you must be devastated.
You probably don't want to carry on with your visit.
Exactly.
Really.
Okay, listen, Carl,
I think we've covered that.
what do you make of the, what do you make of the first genetically modified baby?
Oh.
Are you worried about this?
Do you know what did they do? What?
Let me see what it says here. It says,
Isn't it just choosing the, you know, eye colour?
Well, this is the concern, isn't it? That in the future you'll be able to decide whether it's a boy or a girl, how intelligent it is, what it looks like, is it handsome, is it ugly? Obviously, no one will choose an ugly baby, and so on and so on and so on. And so it means that, you know, where will it lead? Where will it end, Carl? Are you concerned?
I've thought about this a lot.
What will us three look like in the future if they're being, you know, genetically modified beautiful people? What will we be like? How will we be considered in society?
True, yeah. But we've talked about this before, haven't we? About the cloning thing.
Yeah.
That's a bit weird.
Yeah.
But I don't think it matters, because at the end of the day, right, you might look like some other kid, but it's the way you're brought up that will change your features and the way you are, you know, your personality.
If you lie, you get a long nose, don't you?
Well, no, but listen, right, because I remember when we, you know, I was growing up on this estate.
This is gonna be good. Go on.
No, it's not. It's just an example of how this doesn't work.
Go on.
So we don't need to worry, sort of thing.
Sure.
Right?
Okay.
So I'm growing up on this estate, and there was this woman about 4 houses down. Right, it's a bit rough. All right.
Didn't fancy her.
Oh God, no. Right, but she had a baby.
Well, tell me about her first. I'm interested in this woman. Why was she?
It was a very.
Like a man in a dress.
I mean, I didn't grow up in a posh house or anything. And I'm not saying that if you live in a bit of a rough house, you're a bad person.
What did she look like?
But anyone can clean up.
Looked like Tony Green with a fag on.
They didn't clean up much, right?
Oh.
Which, even if you've not got a lot of money, you can still try and make a place look nice.
Yeah.
Right? But she didn't, and a kid used to take a horse into the house.
Sorry. Whoa, Neddy. What do you mean a kid used to take a horse into the house? Where did he get a horse?
Must have nicked it from somewhere. Must have done.
So you've seen a horse in it? No.
What, is that from outside the saloon round the corner?
Yeah, was it just tied up with a bit of...
Right?
Oh, that's great. Big Jake coming looking for it.
I'd been out.
Oh. So let me get this. This was before the lynching stopped or after.
Where did he get a horse from? What do you mean he must have nicked it? His mum said, where'd you get that from? I bought it. Alright then. But keep it out of the kitchen.
I don't want you going Catlin rustling.
Where did he get a horse from, Carl? And how long did he have it for? Was he leading it or riding it?
Mum, open the door! I can't
I
stop!
can't stop it. Open the patio door as well. I'll be.
Looks like we got us a runaway! What do you mean?
I don't know, but the thing is, they couldn't afford to buy one because they're not cheap. So I'm just guessing. Maybe that's wrong of me. But I think...
He had a horse?
Yeah, right. So
That's why the family didn't have any money, they'd spend it on the horse.
No, I don't
Exactly.
think, that's what I'm saying. I don't think they would have bought it. So anyway...
Yeah, it's wise to whisper, Carl, in case they're listening.
Yeah, and
They could be in the room next door.
It's not buying it, it's keeping it as well. Oh,
So I was like in the car with my dad coming into the avenue, and you used to have to drive down it to turn round. And, and you know, sort of go back to our house.
you had the traditional method of transport. Yeah,
And the horse was in the lounge,
reading a paper.
just like walking around.
Oh God! What?
And when I was doing it, I tried to earn myself some money once by flogging little flowers in plastic cups.
What? This is
And I went-
genius. It just keeps coming. What do you mean you're trying to flog little flowers? What do you mean?
Wait. Let's play a record. Let's play a record and come back to this,
Wait a
because
minute,
the story's
wait a
going to
minute.
just unravel and unravel. It's going to go on for hours. Let's
It
play a
gets
track,
deeper
Carl.
and deeper. It's like
come
an
on, Carl.
onion, isn't it?
We've created a whole world here where there's a man living with a horse.
Just walking around the
I
lounge.
mean, I come from the West Country, I've never heard anything like that.
I just think of a big sort of like orange carpet and it's got a rediffusion telly and this horse going, I'm fed up in here.
Exactly.
This is really...
I am not taking the rubbish out again.
Yeah.
Right, play a record. Let's have Velvet Underground. We've got that lined up.
Oh,
yeah, the
God.
classic from the first album. I'm Waiting for the Man. Let's come back to the horse in a second.
Little flowers in pots. What do you mean?
Classic first album, Velvet Underground and Nico, which apparently peaked at a disappointing 171 in the US charts.
Think of that.
And that's obviously Lou Reed, the Velvet Underground, and Waiting for the Man.
Yeah, great track. So we were talking, we were doing White Van Man, and we got onto
We got on to genetically modified babies, but
and then
somehow
Carl started telling a story about someone with a horse, and then he got onto, he was trying to make money selling flowers. Just do the flowers,
Well, hang on, I just want to recap slightly. So there was a family, and who had the horse in the family?
It was...
Because you lived on an estate in Manchester.
So the mother was a right pig, apparently. I don't know if that's
You don't need
relevant.
to go that far.
But you- well,
what
go
I'm
on.
trying to do is like make a picture for you so you understand.
What did
what
she
a
look
picture
like?
it
Who
is.
did she look like?
Bit of a, and no disrespect to her, bit like Pauline Quirk,
Quirky, yeah.
right?
Okay, I knew you were going to say that. I knew it was going to be Paul. Did she have any tats? Did she have any tattoos?
I've never got that close to her.
Okay, alright.
So who had the horse? Was this her son or her
No,
husband?
a daughter.
Her daughter had stolen a horse,
Yeah, from, I don't know where, there was I think there was some stables down the road or something.
and they kept the horse in the house with
They
them.
kept it in the house.
Did
But
they
didn't
get
have it
caught?
for long.
No.
So, and you said you were in the house one day and you saw the horse
No,
in
what
there.
happened was, I was, they did this thing at school about raising money for charity, right? For some local charity. And they said you can do anything to raise money, and they came out with all these ideas, and I thought, that's good.
What was the charity?
Well, I don't know, I thought, forget the charity.
Yeah, that's
I'm
just
a
a good
charity,
money making idea.
So-
You're a charity.
So, so I asked my mum for some, 'cause she used to have a lot of flowers around the house.
Sure.
I said, can I just take some snippings off them? And, I'll go and buy some plastic cups. And, got some soil out of the garden, planted the bits of plants in them,
Yeah.
got a tray,
Yeah.
had about 25 plants on it, selling them for 25 pence each.
Excellent. Did sell any?
Yeah, so loads.
Did you just cut, you didn't just cut them and stick them in
Yeah,
the
they
soil?
want to survive.
Oh.
But I think people sort of thought, oh, good on him for trying. But anyway, so I went round to theirs, because I thought their house could do with a bit of colour and stuff.
Yeah.
'Cause it's a bit rough. So as I went
The horse went, thank God for that breakfast. They've been feeding me kitty cat.
so I got up to the door, and they opened the door, and it was one of them houses where no carpet,
Yeah. A horse in the living room.
You know.
We've all been there.
and the horse was walking around the living room.
Oh.
I looked quite happy and everything, because I always say that about animals.
Black Beauty
right?
was on. Yeah.
Well, think about it, right? If you were a horse, where would you rather be? In a little wooden hut with a load of hay, or in like a house with a
Central heating.
3-piece suite and a telly and that?
Telling you that!
No, but I was saying this the other day,
And an Atari.
right? I was walking through London the
Commodore
other day.
64,
Yeah.
rubbish.
Exactly.
Walking through London with Suzanne, right?
Yeah.
And do you know, like homeless people always have dogs. And
Yeah.
she said, "Oh, I hope she looks after it." I said, "They've got that dog is happier than most dogs,
Right.
because people always walk past and give it a pat on the head.
Yeah.
It's with its owner all the time.
Yeah.
It's out in the open. It's not locked up in a house.
Yeah.
It doesn't
You know what I
eat,
mean?
but other than that.
No, it does eat though. They're always all right. So that's what I was saying. I think this horse was doing all right for itself. Do you know what I mean?
Well, not many horses have got their own house.
Exactly.
For a start, yeah.
But anyway, that's
That's
what
by
we're
the
talking
by.
about. Yeah, so anyway, this family, It was a bit. What were we talking about? It was about cloning.
Genetically modified kids and all that stuff, yeah.
Right. Now, what I'm saying is, you could say, you know, right, Steve, you could have a baby, right? And Ricky could see it and say, God, I want one that looks like that.
Yeah.
Right?
It could happen, Rick.
So
Come on, work with him.
So you take it to the doctors, and I don't know what they do. They inject it with something or whatever.
Yep, that's how it's done.
Yeah.
And get a little baby, and there it is. It looks the same. Now the thing is, you separate. You both go off and do your own things.
Yep.
Right. Now, you look at Stephen. You look after your baby.
Yeah.
You treat it well. You give it good food and
I'm a good dad.
all the vitamins and stuff.
Yeah.
Ricky just gives it cheese. Right. So then it changes its looks. It goes a bit fat. You know, it gets tired easily, and that sort of thing. Now, when this family...
Why am I just feeding a baby cheese?
Right, this family had a horse in their house.
Yeah.
They had a little baby. And my mum went round and said, "You're not going to believe this, but it's a beautiful looking baby." Right?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, you know. And the weird thing is, it was a good-looking kid, but as time went on, they didn't really look after it. And I'm not saying, like, abusing it, but it used to run around, it used to play out till, like, 10 at night.
Yeah.
It used to chase cars.
Right.
It was a bit...
Did it have hooves?
No. Chase cars!
Right?
What sort of kid chases cars? Oh, God.
No.
Was it called Rover?
The weird
Did it catch stick?
It's Liam, it was called, right?
Right.
Now, the weird thing is, it was a good-looking kid, but as time went on, and all that, like, not eating properly and its hair was all patchy...
It's not Liam Gallagher, is it?
and chasing cars on that, and it became an ugly kid.
It's definitely Liam Gallagher.
And that's what I'm saying, right? You can clone all you like, but at the end of the day, it's how you brought up.
Brilliant.
Wow.
Whoa.
Live.
Wow.
That was a hell of a point.
Oh, God.
But am I right?
You're always right, Carl.
Finally, White Van Man, what do you make of the fact that Sainsbury's are bringing in square tins?
Is
that a concern for you?
Is that true?
Apparently so.
Why?
Dunno.
Like it's easy to stack.
This is what the guy in the Sun has said. That should be interesting for... That should be... His comment on Sainsbury's are bringing in square tins is that should be interesting for meatballs. Ricky's just collapsed on the floor. Let's just play a song, Carl. I don't think even you can top that.
Black Rebel March Out Club. Whatever happened to my rock and roll? Well, near the end of the show, it's time for the re-education of Carl revisited. Still got Nick Cave to come, haven't we?
Absolutely.
Now, Carl, you read a quote book. What did you learn from it? Tell us some pearls of wisdom. Just keep it down to one or two, your favourite things and why you like them.
Right, well, you said just pick a couple.
Yeah.
Right? So I wrote a couple down last night. And what I did, so they weren't boring, right? I've sort of...
Don't think you can ever be boring,
No,
but go on.
but what I've done, I've took, like, different ones. So I've took a good one, that I think, that's a good quote, that was worth putting in a book. I put one that isn't really a quote, so I don't understand it.
Oh, yeah.
One that isn't clever. and a funny one. So a bit of variation all out of one book.
Oh, how long did this take you? What did you do? Did you sort of like sit?
About half an hour last night.
And did you sit sort of like quietly at a desk or something?
No, just in the lounge with the telly turned down.
Oh, right.
Just to give a bit of light to the room. Just had it on but turned down.
Have you figured out lights yet?
So, so the first one, never heard of him. This guy called Dean Axon.
Right.
And this is a good one. He said, the memo is written not to inform the reader, but to protect the writer.
That's good, yeah.
Stuff, that's very good.
That's
It relates a lot to, office life and so on.
Yeah, modern world and that. Right, so then, thought, so I wrote that down because I liked it, and that's what he said to do. Second one, isn't really a quote, it's more of a poem.
Okay.
So how does that work?
Well, that's okay.
Just read it.
Right, well, it's about suicide.
Okay.
Right? Razors pain you, rivers are damp, acids stain you, drugs cause cramp. Guns aren't lawful, nooses give, gas smells awful, so you might as well live.
Lovely.
Is that from Dorothy Parker?
I tell you what.
It is, yeah.
I hate it. I hate that.
Why?
it's nothing to me, that.
I think
And
that-
what is
Yeah,
this
yeah,
sort of weak,
right.
shallow
All
piece
right.
of
Well, this
mock comedy?
This is why I did it in that order, because that's what I thought.
It's sort of like a zany vicar would write from living in Frome when he's
Alright,
about
then.
55 and get it published in the. I hate it.
Alright, so you're saying you're not a fan of Dorothy Parker's work, right? Now the next one, Oscar Wilde.
Yeah.
Right, he's known, isn't he?
Yes.
Look what he comes up with. All art is quite useless.
Well, that's what's up with that?
Well, it isn't added art.
No, I know, but it's. Go on next.
But how has art helped you? How has it been useful to you?
It was a bit of a. It's one of the only things I like doing at school.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? When I made that little clay man, fixing a car.
Yeah.
You
know,
made a
how
clay
can-
man fixing a car. I'd forgotten about that.
How can he? I think that's stupid, and especially that it's gone in a book.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
It's easy to diss things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's harder to
you're
do
right.
things up. You're right.
I don't think art is useless, by the way. But you don't have to agree or disagree with some of these things. Some of them are, you know, so it's that sometimes it's just their thoughts put eloquently or poetically, isn't it? And it's just, you
Just
know,
to provoke a reaction as much as
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
Well, and the good one, Ozzy Osbourne.
I mean, sorry, but let's go back there. The irony is that is art. That he was an artist, wasn't he? So,
But you don't, okay, so you don't like Oscar Wilde, but you prefer Ozzy Osbourne.
yeah, go on.
Ozzy Osbourne, cracking one this. Funny and educational. I bit a head off a bat the other night. It was like eating a crunchy wrapped in a chamois leather.
Genius. Oh, you're right, Carl. Yeah.
So there's.
What do you like about that? The way he's described what it is like.
I think, yeah, if someone, I mean, that, you can imagine what it's like, because I like crunchies.
Yeah.
And,
It's like a simmer,
and
yeah.
a chamois leather's really chewy, so you can imagine that's like the skin.
So you like
And
his
the crunchy
you
bits.
like his descriptive
Yeah,
writing.
The crunchy bit is like the bones and that.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But you know, Carl, it's interesting because you've analysed Ozzy there, and in a way, that is the first step on maybe doing a new English GCSE.
Yeah,
you know, being able to
said
study
why
language
you
and
liked
understand
it.
and
You said because it describes what you've never eaten about yourself.
Yeah, but my teacher, Mrs. Kane, if I would have come into school with, you know, a quote by Ozzy Osbourne, she wouldn't have been happy.
Really?
Do you know what I mean? And that's the difference between
She'd
my
go,
school.
right, Carl, get your horse and go home.
Well, listen though, we were talking about other quotes.
Yeah.
Neil Armstrong.
Yeah.
Do you know his one?
Yeah.
what one giant leap for mankind.
Do you know it wasn't meant to be that? You know, it says, it's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind, right?
Yep.
It was meant to be, this is one small step for a man,
Right.
i.e.
Yes.
me, the individual, on a microcosmic level, one giant leap for mankind. And he mucked it up, because if you say, this is one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind, man there means
I
mankind.
know, it's embarrassing.
So you shouldn't give people, he's not a trained actor.
That's true.
He's more of an astronaut, to be
Has he
honest.
won any awards,
No, there are no awards. Is he BAFTA nominated? Don't think so.
Well, listen, right, he said another quote as he got back into the rocket. Have you heard about it?
Go on.
Well, we're running out of time, and I'm just wondering whether it's worth saving as a bit of a teaser for next week.
What did Neil Armstrong say as he got back into the rocket?
Yeah.
Is it going to
Shots
be
away.
something like, that was boring, wasn't it? The mic's not still on, is it?
Yeah.
They're not still listening.
Well, that's what I was saying to you. He could have said that, and it would have
That's
still
not
gone down.
cheese.
It would have still gone down as an amazing quote, wouldn't it?
Well, listen, I think you
Buzz
should
Aldrin
save it,
went,
Carl.
you tosser, I was meant to go
No, I'll tell you what we'll do, Carl. We'll squeeze it in before the end of the show, because Ricky, you got to play your song for the lovers.
Oh,
we should
yes.
play this.
I don't think we'll fit it in. We might have to save it.
Don't worry, we'll see what we can do.
Well,
Let's
next
play,
week, by the way, you've got happiness quotations, a collection of thoughtful words and beautiful paintings. I'll just give you an example of one. Happiness is a perfume you can pour on others you cannot pour on others without getting a few drops on yourself. It's lovely that, isn't it?
Brilliant.
You can't be happy with that.
Okay.
This is Nick
quick.
Cave and the Bad Seed, from the Boatman's Call. It's a beautiful song. Any song that starts off, I don't believe in an interventionist God is alright by me. And this is Into My Arms. Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, Into My Arms. Well, that's it. We've run out of time.
We have indeed.
So no time for, Carl's quote. That'll have to come next week.
Yeah, we'll save that for next
Neil
time.
Armstrong. Well, I hope you, enjoyed it. Goodbye.
All right, Rick. Come on, I'm sounding a bit chirpier. It's not that depressing.
Well, yeah.
Sports next. You know how excited you are.
Go on.
You love the sport, do you?
New Order, and here to stay on XFM 104.9. Well, we're here to stay, aren't we, Steve?
True enough.
Well, for another 4 weeks anyway, then we're off. Then
That's
four more
right.
shows. They'll have to order a new DJ.
Alright?
That was genius.
Hey?
Oh, wow,
I'm
it's as simple as that.
I'm Ricky Gervais, Steve Mitchell, and Karl Pilkington.
Oh, man.
Did anyone read the Guardian yesterday? It was Steve's big... we were interviewed together.
I've never been interviewed before in the paper. I've certainly never had my photo in a national
We were very
paper
excited. We loved the interview. It was talking about our top 10 albums between us. We loved it. We talked really fast, like school kids. We were excited. It was a great interview, and all the way through, it was Ricky Gervais with his writing partner, Steve Mitchell.
Stephen Mitchell. It's
He
not
was
even
gutted.
like Merchant.
He phoned me up the night before and he was gutted. I know, it's awful. And it was big letters and just all the way through, and the caption, and it's just like, oh, God.
But it's embarrassing, do you know what I mean? It's embarrassing because it's like I was trying to get in the paper, I couldn't believe my luck. And then that just draws attention to the fact that I'm not a celebrity, and consequently they can't even remember my name.
But the worst thing was that, one of my favourite albums of all time, like I said in there, was, Blood on the Tracks by Bob Dylan. And I said, because, you know, I think one of the most beautiful songs ever is If You See Her, Say Hello. And of course these people were sort of transcribing it from, you know, a dictaphone. It came out, my favourite song of all time was If You See a Sailor.
If you see a sailor. Oh, hello. Fruity.
Oh, Bob Drillboyd's, up on the trap with, where's the sailor gone to? With Ricky Gervais and Steve Mitchellings. Oh.
I don't know, they must have thought my name was Mitchell all along. They obviously never knew.
The evidence is there.
But I don't know why, it was like they reported in the paper that we'd been nominated for a Sony, and it said, Ricky Gervais, who hosts the breakfast show on XFM, and it's that sort of, it's just guessing. It's like, presumably someone's gone, does he host the breakfast show? And someone's gone, yeah. And that's their research done.
Yeah, but there was a thing about, The Office set in Swindon. That's someone going, just write an article about The Office, where's it set? Swindon, I think, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, that'll do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even we research the show now and again, don't we?
Yeah.
Even we look things up, well, actually, people phone in. Usually that fella, what's that fella's name that calls in who's not got the website? He's got a funny name.
Oh.
Bilbo or something.
James.
Phone in if you remember what his name is.
Yeah.
James at Lose Control.
Yeah, what's his surname though?
Oh, for goodness sake, this is just gonna be interesting to him.
Yeah.
And his friends.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You remember?
We better play another record.
Yes.
I'll tell you what, if
Johnny
you like
Mango.
Mango, that's it, yeah. Now, if you like Elvis Costello's Alison, or maybe Freeze, My Brother Jake,
One of my favourites.
stay tuned. Badly Drawn Boy, Silent Sigh,
Cracking tune.
XFM 104.9. Maybe there'll be a few silent sighs around London on the 4th of May when, that's it, we're off the air for
We are
3
indeed.
months.
Yeah. Wow, you're really getting into the DJ patter today.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Slick
It's only
beats.
taken, what is it, 5 years?
Yeah.
Now you're finally as good as Foxy.
Coming up,
Yes.
that anecdote that Carl didn't get to last week about Neil Armstrong.
Right.
I can't wait. It's because he took 3 links telling us about the horse.
Yes, of course, of
The
course.
horse. Think of that.
Wow.
I went out with Carl on Thursday night.
Right.
Right. It was one of the most enjoyable nights. I'd like went out for about what 5 or 6 pints, a little crawl, and adventures happened around Carl.
Yeah.
And just me sitting talking to him was just incredible. I'm thinking that a competition would be win a pint with Carl.
Yes. That would be a hell
they
of a
just
gift.
have to go for a pint and they can ask him anything they want.
Yeah.
He's just great. We met my friend, didn't we? Tell him all about that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? What?
Did you enjoy it as much as Ricky, Carl?
Yeah, there was things I learned as well, like, which was good.
Okay.
You know his mate Robin, don't you?
Yeah, yeah. You'll discuss that later.
I'll tell you later about.
He's got all his near-death experiences to come. Win a pint, and of course coming up, Carl's homework was the quotes, and Carl's come up with a great idea to show that anyone can do quotes. He's invented a thing like faking it, where he's got 2 real quotes,
Right.
and he's made one up.
Okay.
And he's going to fool us. I bet we won't be able to.
Brilliant. Sorry, what was the challenge of that?
Look at him looking at us. What's the matter with you?
It's just that before you were like, no, this is good for you, but
What?
now it's turning into a game.
At your expense?
Yeah.
Have you only just dawned on you?
Carl, well, I'm joking. It's great, honestly. It's really good.
What was the Carl challenge last week? You said I thought we did the quotes last week.
No, but I gave him a book on
Happiness.
happiness. It's all about happiness
Right.
and what the pursuit of happiness, and it's in sort of like quote form and everything. But Carl's gonna do a couple of ones and faking it just to show. I mean, because he's been coming up with fables all week as well. Now he comes up with something, he goes, "That's a fable, isn't it?" And he tells me so he's getting good now.
Forward to it all. If you can play another track, what have you got something? You got something
Oh,
fresh?
I
haven't
brought
you?
in, I saw,
Elvis Costello and Jonathan Ross a couple of weeks ago, and he did just an acoustic version of Alison, and I forgot what an amazing song it is, and it's just, he's fantastic, he's the man. Listen to this guitar sound, it's so beautiful. My aim is true, to provide quality entertainment of a Saturday. That was Elvis Costello and his attractions, and Alison on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais.
Steve Mitchell here, and Karl Pilkington. It's going alright, it's going alright. I obviously been doing some acting, as you know, I mentioned it last week, doing this this sort of comedy pilot. This week, Karl, you're gonna be loving this. I've been doing stunts. I swear to God, I've been doing my own stunts with the guy that once made Christopher Reeve fly as Superman, right? And I was doing stunts. I had to do a thing where my character has to commit suicide. I don't think we didn't bring that up. Were you anywhere near that horse? No? Fine, let's carry on. And, my character has to commit suicide, and he has to sort of leap off a building. So the first shot.
That's for something for comedy.
Well, we were up on a roof, and obviously they had the crash mats and stuff, and I had to kind of leap off and land on the mats and stuff. And obviously I was petrified the whole time because I was wearing my glasses. Petrified that they might get broken. So I was like not really doing it properly, kind of leaping like what, you know, people when they can't dive into a swimming pool, and so they put that one foot out first to sort of break their fall.
Was it you that told me that you could never get into fights?
No, I can never get into fights or go in a mosh pit because of my glasses. I've missed out in life because I can't, because if I was in a fight and I say, come on then, you are, you know, and I was in a pub or something, they just have to whiff off the glasses, just knock them off, I'm done for. I love nothing.
Really short-sighted, are you?
Yeah, but anything's an advantage in a fight, isn't it? And the fact that they're just a blur is bound to hamper my otherwise brilliant, you know, ninja skills. So yeah, I've never got into a fight, never been in a fight at all, I've never, as I say, been in the mosh pit.
On the wire.
So this was making me sort of a bit worried, and anyway, so then I think, well fine, I've done my stunt, and I did it, and everyone clapped, they were pleased with it, and the guy who said I was very good. So then they drive us to the next location, right, I'm thinking I've done my stunts now. There's a crane, I think, what's going on here? Now they need to shoot me, like, I've already done the stunt where I've sort of leapt off the building. Now they've got to actually see me falling, right? So I have to get strapped in with this huge belt, and they clip wires onto me, and they hoist me about 30, 40 foot into the air, on this wire, and I have to, and then they drop me at great speed, and I have to scream and shout. You know, it was partly acting. And,
glasses on?
Glasses, by this time I'd managed to get some wire fixed to my glasses so they wouldn't come off my head. They
were stunt glasses. They were doing their own stunts.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
So they hoist me into there on this thing. They do a couple of sort of demo versions, you know, and just to gradually ease me up higher and higher so I kind of become acclimatized to it. And, they go about 30 feet up, and they've got these huge crash mats, like those great big ones you always see kind of stunt people have. And they set up the camera and stuff down below, and while I'm up in the air dangling there, they remove those crash mats, and they replace them with those really thin ones that you always see, like, teenage gymnasts using on Blue Peter. Do you know what I mean? The really thin ones they used to have at school, right? And I'm looking down at this, and I'm thinking, now, they may as well have shouted up, if you fall, you're done for, but we might be able to protect the equipment. Do you know what I mean? It was so rubbish.
But you weren't going to land on the floor, presumably?
Well, the idea was that the wire would stop that. Right?
Oh, I see, but there was no that was their safety.
That was the safety net.
Why did they not leave the real ones in?
Because they had to, I don't know, for the shot and stuff, they had to be able to do it. But anyway, what was particularly joyful is one of the other actors pointed this out, right? This is the, this is the health and safety statement from the stunt guys, right? And they obviously have to write up this health and safety statement about how they do it. And it says, we confirm that we have proper safety policies, procedures to comply with the Health and Safety Act 1974, and that we will not do anything which compromises the health, safety and welfare of your production crew, actors or members of the public. If the above situation changes, we'll advise you immediately. I mean, if they think that maybe they do want to hurt members of the public, look at that fat one over there, just try and hit her and bring him down.
Don't worry about that one. Don't worry. She can take it. She can take it.
But, so that reassured me, obviously, and, now my whole body's racked with pain. Limbs, arms, head, neck. Unbelievable.
Well,
is the shot worth having?
Probably not.
You'll wish you had.
You know what the cameraman whispered to me? The cameraman whispered to me, he'll probably never use it.
Yeah, Steve, you'll wish you hadn't told that wimpy tale when you hear just three random tales of near-death experiences that Karl told me.
Right.
Coming up. I mean, honestly.
Really?
At least you had stunt people and crash mats.
Yeah.
You got paid.
Yeah. The things that he got up to, just through stupidity.
Well.
Will put you to what? What one of them wasn't through stupidity?
Cakes.
I'm already excited.
The cake one?
Yeah.
Which one's that?
Sorry, you had a near-death experience involving a
Hold
cake.
on, I've got 3. I've got the paper round, the nicking slate, and the Mr. Freeze. What's the cake one?
Yeah, I suppose. Look at the cream cake.
Oh! Yeah.
Right, now
Play a
you're talking
record.
in riddles. Can
Play
we
a
have these
record.
next?
Yeah, play a record. Cooper Temple Claws. Who needs enemies? Good question, lads. Nobody. 6FM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais.
Oh, they should print a little book of those. They're great. Oh, how you can relate any song or artist to anything else.
Easy.
Joyful.
Easy. Well, yeah, so, me and Carl went out, for a beer, and it was great, wasn't it?
Yeah, enjoy
We started off, and you met my mate, Robin, didn't you?
Yeah.
And, some of the stories. Do you want to tell Steve some things about Robin? That you
Robin,
know?
do you know him well?
Yes.
Well, do you know about his worm problem as a kid?
Go on.
Right. What I can remember is he had worms as a kid. Not sure how you get him. He never answered me. He was getting a bit touchy about it.
Right.
This is like the second time I met him. I think he was a bit annoyed that Ricky told me about his problem.
What now? Now straight away, you not being there, instinctively, what do you think went on with this story about worms?
My suspicion
Yeah.
is rather like when you told a group of people that Robin had once suckled milk from a cow's udder.
Yeah.
Yeah, did he mention that as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. My suspicion is that, like the cow story, the worm story is not true.
But
And Robin-
why would he get so sort of uppity about it?
Well,
Because it's not true.
imagine if that wasn't the first time he'd done it. Imagine if he did that every single time he was with somebody for the first time and Robin was just met them. He will tell that story to anyone.
But they do say there's no smoke without fire.
Oh, Robin! I also told him.
That's a fable.
I also told him that the way Robin cured these worms
Yep.
was because the doctor told his mother, right, to hold a piece of ham or cheese near Robin's anus so the worms would come out for the food, and he believed it.
I'll tell you why, though.
I said to Robin used to sit on spam to try and get the worms out, and he believed it.
But Steve, right, do you remember that story about 3 or 4 years ago where there was some bloke in the army? He went away to somewhere, Vietnam or whatever. He was messing about in the woods.
Right in the woods.
Shouldn't he have been fighting?
Whatever.
Yeah.
Right, and he walked through some lake, and I think he'd cut his toe or something on something, and some worm of some sort crawled in the gash.
Yeah.
And it was in his body, and the doctor said, we've got to get this out of your body. So what they did was, they said, right, the thinnest part or something of your body that things can crawl through is on the top of your head. So they wrapped
Where the skull is.
So they wrapped some bacon.
No, they didn't!
They did. That's
Oh,
that
right.
thing.
So
Everyone.
it's gone in by the toe. So what we do is, I'll tell you what, that worm's probably heading straight for the head. We'll put a bit of bacon on it. The thinnest part of the body is the skull. Of course it's not the thinnest part of the body. It's where your brain case is, isn't it? It's the skull.
There was a reason for it, and it was like they stuck some bacon on his head. And
As ever, the vital piece of information, i.e. the reason, Carl seems to have forgotten.
because the worm was in his body, and they said everyone likes to smell the bacon.
Oh,
including
even a
worms.
worm.
Again.
Even a Vietnamese lake worm. They
Oh, they love
Remember
bacon.
last week when I said about the little fella with the bone with no brain, and you were proved wrong?
No. We were saying it wasn't a little fella. We were saying it was a stillborn child. It wasn't a little
You're
fella.
changing it now. You weren't having any of it last
Right,
week.
hang on a minute. I'm getting confused. There was a Vietnamese snake that went inside of a soldier.
worm.
A little, like, maggot or some sort that you have to get out of your body because it causes problems.
Yes, and so in order to get it out of the
He runs
body,
them off.
they strapped bacon to his head.
Yeah.
That is great. This doctor.
And did that work?
I think so. They had a picture of him smiling.
Oh, God, what, the worm or the bloke?
The bloke.
Oh, dear.
Honestly, I hope someone knows the story.
Right.
It was about 3 years ago, I reckon.
Okay.
And, yeah, it did work.
G.I. Bacon.
So this is why when
So what, the worm burrowed out of his head to get the bacon?
get to the bacon.
Right.
That's great.
So this is why when Robin was telling his story, I was a little bit disappointed if it wasn't true.
Right.
Because in a way,
You know Robin's never been to Vietnam.
No, but what do you really think that Robin, well, as Robin said at the time, Carl, why would I sit on ham, then tell Ricky Gervais? It's a very good point.
because if he was a kid, you do daft things like that as a kid.
Right.
You know
It's
what I
the
mean?
telling Ricky Gervais, though.
Yeah. And then,
Yeah.
oh, bless him.
Okay.
And then anyway, then, Robin left, and, I tried to chase him, but he got away, and he knows that and then we had a few pints, and then, Carl embarked on some of the greatest stories ever told. Can you tell the story about your dad?
Let me run it. I haven't spoke to him all week, so let me run it by him.
Okay, play records.
Because you know,
What we got?
we've got one of Steve's.
Yeah, well, bizarrely enough, this comes from the Teachers 2 soundtrack, the soundtrack to the current TV series. There's a slight whiff of nepotism in the air.
Yeah.
Rick, would you like to explain why?
Well, that's why you're doing it. Though my girlfriend worked on it, but
Yeah.
you were going to play this anyway, weren't you?
Well, I was actually. Bizarrely enough, I was going to play some I Am Clute, and this is from, as I say, the Teachers soundtrack. This is called To You. It's a good track. I Am Clute, a track called To You from the Teachers soundtrack. That's also got, I noticed the Electric Soft Parade, The Hives, Star Sailor, Feeder, Turin Breaks, Mercury Rev on there. It's a good little collection.
Lovely. Carl, has just had confirmation. He's looking smug because someone phoned up and went, "It is true. It's a Laogai chi worm, and you wrap bacon around your head." That's all the bloke knew as well.
Yeah.
And his name was Gary.
Yeah.
So I'm not having it.
No.
And he said, see, that's why the Robin thing isn't so weird. He said, but when you said he tried it with cheese, he said I was having none of it. Strokes, hard to explain. Like Carl, really.
Yes. Yes.
So, Carl, concentrate.
You go on.
So, we'll leave the worm with the bacon wrapped around the head, shall we?
Well, if you're ever caught in the jungle,
Yeah. Always carry some...
bit of Danish.
Good advice.